in heaven, seriously. Oh, this is all for me.
Alrighty, so I have something very special today. My little food and cocktail videos have been going quite nicely, so I thought I'd do another one. Today, I'm going to do something which is going to take you on a little bit of a travel adventure around the world. You know, because we can't do much travel these days, I thought let's do it with our taste buds. And what better way than with this Opirh gin? This is actually inspired by the ancient spice root. So it's actually flavored with cubeb berries from Indonesia, peppercorns and cardamom from India, and coriander from Morocco. So when I heard all of those spices and I popped open the bottle and I was just like, oh wow, it really took me somewhere. I thought, you know what, satay chicken would go perfectly with this because, you know, you can't have a drink without some food. So today I'm going to prepare a satay chicken, which is actually a dish that was inspired by or created by the ancient spice route, because the Arab traders used to come through, you know, the Indonesian, Malaysian islands, and they would bring their shish kebabs, which is the skewered meats, and they used to marinate it with all of the different spices they'd find there, all your coriander and your cumin, and then they'd find some peanuts and think, oh, let's crush this up and make a sauce out of it. So actually, these two dishes should go perfectly together, but you know, while I'm preparing my little satay chicken, I thought I'd just have a simple gin and tonic just to really appreciate the flavour of the Opirh gin. So I've got my big cube of ice in there, and just one part of the gin, a little bit of lemon, just put that in there. Top it up with my favourite Fever Tree Fever Tree tonic. Beautiful. Now, this is Kaffir lime. It's got this really delicious, pungent, it's like lime zest. So I'm crushing that up to kind of release the lime oils, and I'm just going to rub it around the rim there. Just like that, just to kind of get the flavour of the lime on there. Going to add in a little wedge of lemon and a sprig of thyme. I thought, you know what, because it's got the spicy kind of flavors to it, something kind of savory flavored like the thyme just goes perfectly with it. So, oh, it's delicious. You can actually taste the spices in there, the cumin, the cardamom. So I would recommend with this gin, just start off with a simple gin and tonic, and later on I'm going to show you my spiced vanilla gin sour. So first off, let's get going with our satay chicken. Okay, so first thing we're going to do for our satay chicken recipe is marinate our chicken. I've already got some chicken thigh diced up here. Thigh is good because it's a little bit fatty, and we're going to grill it on the barbecue so that fat really can take the heat. So the marinade for this chicken is a little bit of diced garlic over here, the juice of a lime. We're going to actually use some lemongrass, but the white part only. So we're only going to use a bit of this. Just going to chop that off, and just going to dice that up. This can be rough because this is a marinade. You know, you're not going to be eating this, so it's fine to just kind of give it a rough chop. There we go. Okay, so our lime juice. Our fragrant lemongrass, garlic. Okay, now next thing I'm going to add is just a little bit of white pepper. Always like to grind it up fresh. of salt. There we go. So that is our chicken marinade. We'll give that a mix. Pop the lid on. We put that in the fridge overnight. Alrighty, so our chicken is marinating in the fridge. Now it's time to prepare our peanut sauce. This is where all the beautiful spices come in. So over here, I've got 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds and 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Now, we always like to toast our spices before we use them. So they'll just go in a dry pan and I'll heat them up for just a little bit. Alrighty, so we have some very special ingredients here which are going to go in. This one here is actually called candle nuts. If you can't find these, I get them from the Asian grocery stores up the road from me. You can maybe use macadamia nuts or leave them out. But I've just soaked them in some hot water for about 15 minutes. I've also got some dried chilies here, which I've soaked in hot water again for about 15 minutes. I've got an eschalot and a couple garlic cloves. So I'm going to chop all of this up and I'm going to saute it in the pan. Okay, so I've got my aromatics here, which I'm going to saute. Just got a little bit of oil in the pan. Here we go. So we've got the candle nuts. I'm just going to chop them up just really roughly. They'll go in the pan as well. Now, while that's sauteing, I've got my peanuts here. And I'm just going to blitz them up. Now, I like quite a chunky satay, so I'm going to blitz them up so there's a little bit of crunch to it. But, you know, do it based on your preference. If you want it smooth, it's the old crunchy versus smooth peanut butter debate. Just blend it for longer. So this next thing is very important. Make sure you listen. Just joking. That wasn't important. Okay, so our spices have toasted up nicely. I'm just going to grind them up. You always add a little bit of salt in there with your spices just to give a bit of texture to grind them up with. Oh, you should smell that. Oh, man. And I'm going to add that in with my mixture over here. So these have sauteed up very nicely. You just want the onion to soften and the ingredients to just kind of start softening. Now I'm going to blitz them up. And that goes back in the pan. With our peanuts. They all go in there. Now, this is the special secret ingredient that makes it Indonesian. This is ketchup manis, otherwise known as sweet soy. So it's basically soy sauce with palm sugar. So we're going to add 3 tablespoons of that. And this stuff is delicious. Maybe I'll add a little bit more, I love it. Then I'm going to add half a block of palm sugar. And usually with this, I'll just kind of cut it in half with the heel of the knife and then just kind of shred it like that, just to break it up a little bit. In there. We add in 500 ml of water. And last but not least, some more of this beautiful Kaffir lime. And we just julienne it. So what you can do is line them up like that on each other, fold them over like that, and just do a really, really fine cut. Just sprinkle those in, and they're going to make this delicious limey kind of flavour. And then we just pop that on the stove top and just cook it until it thickens. Alrighty, so now it's time to make our special spiced gin sour. Now, the first step to this is actually to make the simple syrup. Simple syrup is basically equal parts sugar and water. You just heat it up in the frying pan. So I use my scales here to make sure they're equal. So, 50 grams of sugar, 50 grams of water. But what I'm going to do to make this really special is I'm actually going to use coriander seeds, pepper seeds, and these cardamom pods, and I'm going to add them into my mixture to match the spices in the Opirh gin. So they're in there. I'm going to add my water, put it on the stove, heat it up for a little bit, and then just let it infuse for 20 minutes. Okay, so through the magic of television, my simple syrup is done. This is one I prepared earlier. So we add in 20 ml of our simple syrup, half of one of them, 20 ml of lemon juice, straight in there, 40 ml of our Opirh gin, generous 40 ml, and 20 ml of an egg white, which is about half an egg white if you're going to kind of measure that out. If you're feeling like you don't want to have egg for whatever reason, or you don't like the concept of kind of drinking a raw egg, just omit it. It won't be as kind of silky and syrupy, but that's fine. Now, this is the secret ingredient right here. We have a vanilla bean pod. I'm just going to slice that open that out like that, and I'm going to scrape the vanilla bean seeds straight in there. They're just going to go straight in there. Okay, so I'm going to pop the lid on and give it what's called a dry shake, so without any ice. Okay, pop the lid. Now we add in ice. Just fill it right up. Okay, now we give it a good shake. Okay, that's had a good shake. Now, because we're not going to serve this with ice, I've pre-chilled this glass. Tip it straight in. And you can see all those delicious vanilla bean seeds in there. Wow. You can smell it. You can smell the lemon juice. You can smell the spices. It's amazing. Now, I've got a little twist of lemon, little happy face of lemon, which I've got there. And then I'm actually going to toast a few of these cardamom pods so they're smoking. Okay, so I have really toasted these cardamom pods. Oh, they're popping. So they're smoking because I want these to sit on top just like that. Beautiful. And give off that delicious cardamom aroma. Oh, look at that. Ready? Mmm. Oh man. The first thing you get is this cardamom, you know, and lemon from the garnish going through your nostrils, and you take a sip, and then it's matched by this spiciness, and then followed through with the vanilla pods. Oh, it's sweet, sour, spicy. It's delicious. Now I just need some satay chicken to go with it. Okay, so my chicken has been marinating for 24 hours. It hasn't really, it's only been about an hour. Now I'm just going to add some turmeric in there to give it a little bit of colour. I do this at the end because if you do it at the beginning, it just gets this really fake kind of too yellow colour. So just a little bit at the end just gives it a nice colour. A little bit of turmeric flavour. Alrighty, and because this is inspired by the spice fruit and the shish kebabs that came from the Arab world, I thought I'd use these beautiful skewers to basically make my little satay chicken. Alrighty, I've got my little shish kebabs here. They're going to go on the barbecue. Oh, that smell. Mm. Okay, so our chicken shish kebabs are ready. Our satay peanut sauce is there, and I just made a little bit of a cucumber, just pickled cucumber, so a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of white sugar in the fridge. Oh, and look at that. It's just perfect. Satay chicken, a peanut sauce, Opirh gin, sour. Mm. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Peanut sauce. Oh, I'm in heaven, seriously. Oh, this is all for me.